Right field. Fielding the ball there, Marty Durkin. And your basic going with the pitch as the right-hander takes it to the right side. I don't know if anybody will reach the dimensions with a long one today. It's 330 down either line, 375 in the alleys, and a cozy 390 to center field. The wind is blowing in hard straight from the north, straight in from left field.
Getting back to that piece of hitting right there, Bob, he throws his fastball. He's got great movement on his fastball. The ball's running away from this hitter. PJ knows that. He knows that he's got good movement. He goes up there. He looks like to me he's looking for a ball out over the plate, and he drove that ball hard to right field. That was a real good piece of hitting right there.
Yes, it was. Now a left-hander hitting second, and Jeff Bonaquista, the right fielder. He can move the ball around some. And if the runner starts off first, and Forbes is a candidate for that with 11 steals this year, has not been caught, and the shortstop makes the move toward the bag, this is a guy that can bump the ball right through that vacated hole.
Gene Stevenson told us that before. Even though they know that this guy hits the ball to the opposite field, it's very hard to leave that that gap open there over there at first base. So the shortstop normally covers, and he hits a lot of balls that way. He said that he's really swinging the bat well now, and when he is, he's hitting the ball hard to the other field, and that's exactly what he did last night.
Runner holds on a check bunt, strike one.
Another thing he said about Bonaquista is that he sees a lot of pitches. He'll take a lot of pitches and enable PJ to steal bases. Very patient hitter, smart hitter, maybe not the most talented player.
Taking their time a little bit slower. I know that the Highway Patrol is currently looking for them right now. They have a description of the bus, and they're going to give them some high-speed advancement into here to X Stadium. Like I said, a lot of people out here right now. We've got some shots for you. There's several thousand people in here waiting for the national champions to return from Omaha, and so they can get the Wichita welcome. Everybody else in the country has had the chance to say welcome. Congratulations to the Shockers, but I think the hometown folks want to do the same. On top of that, this seems to be big business. Bob Keeling reports on how people are turning a national championship into greenbacks.
Yesterday's first ever Wichita State NCAA National Championship victory touched off a wave of Shocker pride back home.
If you come to Wichita with football pads on, we will probably get pushed around. If you come in with a baseball bat and a glove, we will send you home because we're national champions.
Well, hopefully we have enough through the pep rally.
Sunday afternoon, Greg Shue sees dozens of Shocker faithful file by his official NCAA souvenir stand, snatching up national championship T-shirts at $12 a throw.
Heard a lot of horns honking and a lot of people putting on the brakes and then whipping in the parking lot real quick, and it's been kind of neat. It's a good experience for Wichita State, and everybody's really getting behind it.
Most of the fans remember last year's bitter disappointment. That makes this year's championship even more meaningful.
I was pretty excited. Brought tears to my eyes when they won the deal. It was a pretty neat deal.
I think we should have won it last year, but we decided that because of that, we'd come back stronger and win it. And regardless of their injuries and everything else, why they did, what can I say?
They're number one.
One fan says this championship sends a message that quality baseball doesn't only come from the East and West Coast. But the afternoon turnout waiting to welcome home the team sends another message. A salute to those who endured injury and triumphed in the face of adversity. Bob Keeling, Eyewitness News at X Stadium.
We don't exactly know where the Shocks are right now, but we know they are en route to X Stadium. A lot of people waiting to welcome them and congratulate them on a job well done. Right now, I want to pull in Casey Scott, Assistant Athletic Director of Wichita State and broadcaster extraordinaire. And I know you've been following these guys doing play-by-play on the radio. Did you ever have a dream that this was going to happen?
Well, I think that we've known over the years that Wichita State has had a good enough baseball program to win a national championship. But so many things had happened negatively to the team over the last month that it didn't really seem like it would be likely, Malcolm. But what a great job the coaching staff did. They pulled every ounce of effort from these kids, and the kids really got down deep within themselves and got it done. And it was a tremendous feeling to be in Omaha yesterday. In fact, the whole past 10 days and witness what happened.
Obviously, you have something to do with the whole scheme of things as far as recruiting is concerned and everything else here at Wichita State. Talk a little bit about what this national championship means to this institution, this city in a whole.
Well, obviously, it means a lot to the city of Wichita. I said yesterday as we were closing our radio broadcast that I don't think probably anything of this magnitude in terms of sports in Wichita had happened since the Shockers made the Final Four in basketball in 1965. I just think it's tremendous. Wichita State is the first non-Sun Belt team in 23 years to win the College World Series, and Eric Wedge said after the game yesterday that perhaps our winning the College World Series gives inspiration to all the northern teams across the country that somebody else besides a team from Arizona and California and Florida and Texas can win it.
All right, Casey, thanks a lot again. Congratulations to you and your staff on a job well done. Again, the Shockers are en route to X Stadium. We don't know exactly where they are, but believe me, when they arrive, we shall be here. By the way, at 6 o'clock, we'll pick up festivities live when they get here, and there'll be a big celebration, and the city fathers will talk to the players and have some things to say. We'll have it live on Channel 12, and tonight at 10:30, we'll have a very, very special look at what these guys have accomplished. For now, I'm Malcolm Briggs, live at X Stadium.
All right, thank you very much, Malcolm. Well, unfortunately, not all of our news is as good as the Shockers winning. An overnight argument has left one man stabbed to death and another man behind bars awaiting a murder charge. Sylvia Castaneda joins us now with the details of the city's latest homicide. Sylvia.
Kim, things are still a little bit sketchy, but police say it all started when a man had a couple of friends over to his southwest Wichita home. The men were drinking. The three began arguing. That's when one of them pulled out a knife to settle that argument. Wichita investigators spent the morning piecing together the homicide that's alarmed many people in this normally quiet southwest Wichita neighborhood. Witnesses say the owner of this South Oak Street home and two friends were drinking. An argument erupted, and that's when one of the men stabbed 32-year-old Roger Harrell.
A couple of men were fighting, and we woke up around 3:30, and the rescue trucks were here. We'd heard a window breaking sometime in there, and the man was laying on the floor.
He was stabbed 3 times to the back and side. 2 other occupants who were in the home were taken into custody at that time.
One of the 2 men will be charged with Harrell's death. The other was released. One neighbor is shocked by the incident.
Worries me. I don't like to be in a neighborhood where people are getting stabbed, you know. I ain't the violent type, you know. I'm ready to move.
After the stabbing, Harrell was rushed to St. Joseph Medical Center, but unfortunately he died a short time later. The man being held with his death is expected to be charged sometime this week. His bail has been set at $100,000. And Kim, 2 things. We do not know, or police at this time won't release, what the argument was about, nor have they told us whether the gentleman who was arrested was either the homeowner or the other friend who was there.
Well, had there ever been any trouble at that house before?
Neighbors have said that they were fairly quiet until the weekend when they did start having people over, and then there were lots of arguments, lots of fighting, but they were all very shocked at what had happened.
Okay, thank you very much, Sylvia. In other news, a man is in serious condition tonight after being burned in a home explosion. 31-year-old Jack Arnett received 2nd and 3rd degree burns over 18% of his body when a propane tank exploded in his home. Authorities are not sure exactly how the explosion happened, but they suspect Arnett was lighting a hot water tank.
There were 2 20-pound propane tanks in the basement, and one of them had apparently been leaking and caused, when he tried to light a hot water tank or some other unit downstairs, had caused the explosion to go off at that time.
The explosion tore off the rear part of the house and threw a section of the roof onto a nearby truck. Also in the house at the time were Arnett's wife and 5 children. One of the children was treated with minor injuries and released. Stuart Berger has ended more than a week of speculation that he might leave the Wichita public school system next year and head east. Yesterday, he officially pulled his name out of the running for the superintendent spot in Raleigh, North Carolina.
Nothing you can do about it.
The speculation over Berger's commitment to Wichita began last February, when incumbents on the school board barely squeaked through the primary to the general election.
Those results would indicate to me that where I wanted to go is not where this community wants to go.
Yeah, that's just a guess on my part. I have no basis.
But today, Berger was singing a different tune. After a week of speculation that he might take the Raleigh, North Carolina superintendent's job, Berger has decided to stay here.
I did not feel, and I had some discussions with some of the new board members, I did not feel that leaving them a majority new board with no superintendent made a lot of sense for the system, and I think the majority of them agree with that.
Does that surprise the new board members? After all, their election was the reason Berger was reportedly looking elsewhere.
Well, I don't know if I'm surprised about that. I do think now that we can stop trying to second-guess Dr. Berger and is he leaving, is he staying, and turn the focus from him to where it should be, and that's the education of our kids.
However, just like Berger, Roop says she's keeping the board's options open.
I think that in the short run, Dr. Berger needs to be here to finish the things that he has started. In the long run, Wichita will be fine with any superintendent that we choose.
Dr. Berger says he will guarantee he will be here at least for one more year, but beyond that, he just won't say. Well, when we return, if mountain climbing makes you sick, Dr. Cook has a solution for you. Stick with us.
With call forwarding from Southwestern Bell Telephone, you can set your phone to ring anywhere, which means you'll never miss an important call.
Pizza's on the way.
I'll be right there.
Oh, could you bring plates?
Plates?
And, chairs.
Chairs. Ooh, how about a table, too?
Great.
Okay, where are you?
Yes.
Our new apartment?
Call forwarding, an easy way to do more with your phone from Southwestern Bell Telephone.
Hey, I'll bring a TV. Just kidding.
The next time the Wichita State Shockers step on this field, it'll be quite a bit different. They'll step on as national champions. Hello, everyone. I'm Susan Peters. This is a time when all of Wichita is saying, way to go, Shockers. That's why tonight at 10:30, Channel 12 will present an exclusive half-hour show. We'll talk with Coach Gene Stevenson live, players, and also all the Wichita fans who are celebrating their first NCAA title ever. Join us tonight at 10:30 on Channel 12.
We have here is a large selection at the right prices.
The biggest selection of promotional price carpet in town.
Our whole business is based on buying it right. It sells itself if you got it priced right.
We do offer a huge selection at the lowest possible price.
Do you suffer from headaches and nauseousness when you head up into the mountains? Well, Dr. Ray Cook says there is something you can do about that.
Several patients are going to Colorado. We've talked a little bit about the headache that they get when they get up to Vail and get up 8, 9, 10,000 feet. The headache that they get many times is what we call altitude sickness, mountain sickness. Now, what can you do about that? It's a fairly simple thing. If you talk with your physician, you can get a medication called Diamox, and you begin that the day you leave or the day before you leave, 250 milligrams twice a day. The problem is, as you get in the higher altitude, you have a decrease in the amount of oxygen in the blood. Some people are very sensitive to this. It's even worse if you do any exercise, if you're doing any backpacking or hiking while you're at high altitudes. It's extremely important for the first day that you're there to take it easy, to be acclimated to the altitude. If you can take 2 to 3 days just laying around, that's the best way to enjoy the mountains anyway, as far as I'm concerned. 2 or 3 days, acclimate yourself, then begin the exercise that you're going to do. But if you routinely have a headache and occasionally nausea when you get to the high altitudes, talk with your doctor, ask him about Diamox. I'm Dr. Ray Cook, Eyewitness News.
Floodwaters that started to recede in south central and southern Kansas may be on their way up again. A flash flood watch is now in effect for much of the area, including Butler County, where a man lost his car to a swollen creek and a washed out bridge near Benton. Southeastern Kansas was hit the hardest. In Montgomery County, 25 people were evacuated from their Coffeyville homes overnight, and heavy flood damage was reported. In addition, road closings have been reported in Chautauqua and in Cowley counties. And here's the man with all the details on all of that, John Ridge.
Well, you know, flooding is now occurring on the Caney River, and that's 20 miles west of Coffeyville. So that's a big problem. That's where one of the roads is closed, 166 in particular. Anyway, details are coming up on what we can expect over the next couple of days. Stay with us.
Responsibilities, they're important to me.
keeping up with the kids, meeting impossible deadlines, and staying in shape, just to mention a few. I also had the responsibility of buying a new car. I wanted a dealer I could trust, a car I could depend on, and a payment I could afford. That's why I settled on a Chevy Team of Kansas dealers. They offered me all that and more.
Like $600 cash back on Cavalier. Add on popular options with discounts up to $1,000, and you could save $1,600, which means lower payments.
My Chevy Team of Kansas dealer made the responsibility of buying a car a
We have a real devotion to reclining sectionals here at Cutters, south of Hutchinson. Cutters has the quality, style, and low price you want. Here's just one. Put your feet up in this elegant two-piece group in your choice of 3 hand-selected covers, just $9.98 only at Cutters. For motion modular groups, drive to where the real buys are.
At Cutters, America's furniture store.
John Ridge's weather report is approved by the American Meteorological Society.
First on the agenda, a flash flood watch has just gone into effect for portions of the eastern, I'd say south central, southeastern Kansas. It's generally east of a line from around the Anthony area and then up toward Hutchinson, just barely making it toward Hutchinson. You're not quite included in it. And then eastward from there, all areas south and east, and in that blue area is under a flash flood watch right throughout tonight, and it has already started. Now radar is going to show us the rain that has let up quite a bit. Nothing going on in Kansas really except for the eastern sections, and this is all very light stuff moving off to the east. Some other thunderstorms developing over New Mexico right now, and that is the big reason for a severe thunderstorm watch out until 11 p.m. tonight. That includes not only the panhandle of Texas, but it's hard to see also panhandle of Oklahoma is included in that watch until 11 p.m. Other thunderstorms kicking up in the Dakotas right now, but we'll be keeping our eye on this bunch because those are the ones that are expected to move into Kansas a little bit later on throughout the evening and the nighttime hours. Okay, on we have temperatures around the state like the 77 degrees Salina, 79 in Wichita, currently 81 degrees Dodge City with 79 in Garden City, and 81 up in Goodland with 71 Topeka, 71 Emporia, and 75 degrees in the Chanute area. If you're looking for a lot of rainfall totals, we're going to have those at 10 o'clock, by the way. A lot of cloudiness continues over the state of Kansas, but we've seen partly sunny skies through much of the central and south central sections of the state. Still have a front kind of lingering in the eastern sections. That's one of the reasons we have the showers there. And then a trough of low pressure all the way through western Kansas into New Mexico. Here's one of the reasons we have the thunderstorms starting to pop up there. An upper level system is moving in, and there's one of the reasons we're going to see thunderstorms kicking off. And then a cold front will be passing through by tomorrow evening. Here's where it's going to be located. Here is another opportunity for more thunderstorm activity. So we're just going to have it off and on for the next couple of days before finally clearing off. Well, right now we have to go on to 80 degrees for the high temperature today's. Normally 87 degrees is what you're going to see, 104 setting the record back in 1953. And yes, we have had this much rain in Wichita. That was the total rainfall amount. And we are this far above normal for the month, almost 4 inches, and almost 3 inches ahead for the year so far. 79 degrees currently Wichita, 80 in El Dorado, 78 in Newton, and 83 in the Hutchinson area. South winds 13. Barometer is on the fall with 66 for the dew point and 64% relative humidity, and we do have partly sunny skies throughout most of the area right now. Well, the forecast then throughout tonight, 65 degrees, the overnight low. A flash flood watch is in effect for the Wichita area with chances for thunderstorms also in Salina, 63 degrees, your overnight low temperature, and a south to southeast wind about 5 to 15 miles per hour. High temperature tomorrow, 84 degrees Wichita, chance of a thunderstorm. South winds about 50 or 10 to 15, 82 degrees the high temperature with chances for thunderstorms in Salina also. Now, the statewide forecast shows some thunderstorms are definitely a possibility all through the state. Pretty much, I would say that we're going to be getting the brunt of it, though, in the central and the eastern sections of the state, with 60s for the overnight low temperatures and 57 up in Goodland. Slight chances in the west, I should add. And then tomorrow's forecast will be bringing statewide temperatures like these in the 80s.
And we'll be keeping our eyes in on tonight in case any flooding occurs. You'll be letting the folks know
Oh,
about
sure.
that.
We'll be around.
Okay, all right. Thanks, John. Well, the celebrating is still going on at X Stadium because that is the home of the national championship Wichita State Shockers. That's where Malcolm Briggs is as well. Malcolm.
Well, Kim, we still await the return of those national champions. They're about 20 minutes away, and they're bringing out a banner right now that says they are the national champions. That's what all the hoopla is about. When we come back, we'll talk with an assistant coach, but for now, take a look what's happened in the major leagues on a roll.
The 1989 Miss Kansas Scholarship Pageant will be held in Pratt on July 13th, 14th, and 15th, and you can be there in person. Tickets are $6 each for Thursday and Friday preliminaries and $15 for Saturday night's finals, or all 3 nights for $22. Send a self-addressed stamped envelope along with the seating position, number of tickets desired, and payment to Miss Kansas Pageant Tickets, Box 482, Pratt, Kansas, 67124.
What do we mean when we say we're the hungry little bank? Hi, I'm Rocky Wade of the Rose Hill State Bank. Being the hungry little bank means we really want you as our customer. With our dedication to excellent service, $50 minimum balance, free checking account, and low rates on loans, we believe we're the bank you're looking for. I want to invite you to give us a try and see why so many people are making the hungry little bank their bank.
The Rose Hill State Bank, 776-2131, member FDIC.
Basically, when I go to buy carpet, I try to buy it so I can sell it below normal wholesale.
Very, very few of our customers are one-time customers. Almost all of them come back. When they need carpet, they come here first, or they come here last, but they always come here.
And anytime they want to, and they can always get a deal.
Every day is the savings day at Jabara's Carpet Outlet.
Hey kids, get your bicycles ready for the Safe Kids Bicycle Rodeo, Saturday, June 17th at Riverside Park Tennis Center. Your bike will be inspected and licensed, and you'll have a chance to take part in a bicycle skills course to help you learn safe bicycle habits. A drawing will be held for a Schwinn bicycle and for 4 bicycle helmets. So bring your bike to the Riverside Park Tennis Center for a day filled with fun for the whole family. The Safe Kids Bicycle Rodeo, sponsored by Riverside Hospital, Godfather's Pizza, and Channel 12.
Well, the crowd continues to swell out at X Stadium. Lots and lots of people out here, a lot more than when we first spoke to you earlier in the show. Right now, I'm going to turn and chat with a very, very happy camper, Lauren Hibbs, who's assistant coach of the Shockers. You played in the College World Series, and you've coached in the College World Series. Can I ask the numbskull question? What's the best?
This is the best. 82, I watched Miami celebrate, and that wasn't very much fun. This time we were doing the celebrating, it was a heck of a lot better, I'll tell you that.
You know, a lot of people are saying this is a club of destiny. I want to say it's a blue-collar team because you guys have worked through some incredible, incredible difficulties this season.
We had a lot of injuries, but our kids sucked it up. I tell you what, it was just meant to be. I mean, the ball bounced our way, and we hung in there, and we won it. So it's a great feeling.
Is there any one thing that turned it around for this club in the season? Obviously, there was a lot of highs and a lot of lows. For instance, the 24-game winning streak. But is there one thing that turned things around?
I don't think there was one thing. I think it was just a combination of several guys rising to the top and competing the way we need to compete. Mm-hmm. You know, we beat Fresno out in the regional, and that was a very difficult game for us. We had to beat Florida State twice, and we had to beat Texas. So this is great, man. There's all kinds of people out here. This is fantastic.
Have you seen that championship ring yet?
I haven't seen it yet, but I hope it's about this big.
All right, Lauren. Again, congratulations, man. It couldn't happen to a bunch of nicer
Thanks for
folks.
having me on.
Again, tons of people getting out here. You better get out here because I know there's a lot of traffic. Some other things happened today besides the Shockers trying to get back to X Stadium. Let's talk a little basketball. The Detroit Pistons were trying to put a chokehold on the Lakers, trying to go up 3-0 in that NBA title series. And tonight, folks, It was not a good one for my Lakers. Magic Johnson did give it a go, but it wasn't long enough. He went out early in the game. That hamstring that he fell prone to in the second game befell him. He had to exit. Late in the fourth quarter, James Worthy tried to turn things up for the Lakers. He finished with 26, but it wasn't enough because the high man was Joe Dumars for the Pistons. He had 21 points. That in the third quarter, he finished with 31. The final today, not good for Lakers fans, 114-110. Pistons up 3-0 in that best-of-7 series. Game 4 right here on Channel 12 on Tuesday night. Now moving on to tennis action. Earlier in the week, Michael Chang, the youngster from California, knocked off the #1 player in the world, that guy being Ivan Lendl. So it seems fitting that he moves on to win the French Open. So today he had to play Stefan Edberg in the finals of the French Open. It lasted 5 sets, 3.5 hours. He outdueled the third seed, Stefan Edberg, and walks away with the French Open title. Now, if that isn't incredible enough, he's the youngest American ever to win in Paris. Not only that, he's the first guy to win wearing the red, white, and blue in 34 years. So incredible for him. Now, earlier in the week, I should say yesterday, Steffi Graf, the ladies' top player, got bumped off by Arantxa Sanchez, who's also 17. So the youngsters walk away from France with the big hardware. Again, we were out here at X Stadium where thousands upon thousands try to fill in to see the national champions. The Shockers have yet to arrive. As I look over and see, they're about 15 minutes away. They are in high speed trying to get here thanks to the Highway Patrol. When they get here, believe me, Channel 12 will let you know about it. That's my time. I give you back to Kim.
All right, thank you very much, Malcolm. Well, when we come back, we will have a very special weekend edition of Nonsense. Stay with us.
Have you ever asked what's your best price on a new car and never got an answer? That won't happen with Ford Man. Ford Man has tagged every new Rusty Eck Ford car and truck with Rusty's best price. No need to shop. No need to ask. Just find the car you want at Rusty Eck Ford and you'll see Rusty's best price clearly tagged for all to see. 200 cars and trucks must be sold at Rusty's best price. No dealers, brokers, or wholesalers, please. The yellow tag sale ends soon, so hurry to Rusty Eck Ford, the home of Ford Man.
Everybody knows that milk's for babies, charming, disarming, whatever they do. Everybody knows that milk's for babies. Wouldn't you know it, baby? Milk's for you. Soft baby skin, strong baby bones, a bright baby smile, and ooh, great muscle tone. Wouldn't you know it, baby? Milk's for you. It's a health kick, baby.
We promise absolute 200% control of bindweed.
You hear a lot of big talk about bindweed control these days.
New improved best herbicide ever.
You know there's no miracle cure.
It even controls weeds that aren't there.
What you really need is no-nonsense bindweed control. Tordon 22K herbicide, applied at low rates right after wheat harvest, gives you effective economic control. Ask your weed director or custom applicator about no-nonsense bindweed control with Tordon 22K from Dow.
Well, you know, this week has been set aside to honor someone you have probably talked to on the phone. In fact, as tonight's Nonsense explains, those being honored may be the most important people in any company.
Eyewitness News, Kevin Nunn, may I help you? Yes, hold on, please. Have you ever thought about how important it is to answer the phone correctly?
Governor Mike Hayden has. In fact, the governor has proclaimed this week International PBX Telecommunicators Week.
Good morning, KWCH, Channel 12, may I help you?
Put simply, that means people like Annie Work here are getting a well-deserved pat on the back. And rightfully so if you stop to consider this. People like Annie provide a very important first impression of the business they work for. A task that's easier said than done when you work for a television station.
Pleasant voice, and act like I'm concerned about what if their question is just like, not too much for me, but it's really important to that person, then I have to explain to them. Sometimes I put them on hold, and I have to look up a lot of things for them.
Okay, so you have to be courteous, but outside of that, how tough can this job really be?
Come here, Kevin.
Good morning, KWCH. May I help you? Sandy D. Pasquale? Let's see.
His extension was Annie! Annie! Oh, man. I'm sorry, sir. Hold on. Just a hello? Hello?
We thank everybody for joining us this evening. And for those of you in Western Kansas, in just a few minutes at 6 o'clock, you will see 60 Minutes. But for those of us in Shockerland, we go live to the homecoming rally where Bruce Hurdle and Susan Peters are there to honor our heroes. Bruce and Sue?
Hello, everybody. As Kim said, I'm Susan Peters. This is Bruce Hurdle. We are here at one of the biggest events to happen in Wichita in a long time.
You know, and Sue, we're all still trying to, get a handle on the emotions. Yeah. And I think that they're about ready to spill forth. A crowd in the ballpark of about 5,000, both literally and figuratively here tonight, anticipating the arrival of the Shockers. The latest information that we have is that they are somewhere within the city limits right now, being sped on their way here to X Stadium, Tyler Field, by virtue of an escort from the Highway Patrol.
I understand they have a police escort with them, and Gene Stevenson called from Topeka, called the Wichita State people here, said he was going to be a little bit late, but they have a police escort as soon as they get into Sedgwick County. We're hoping that they will be here within the next few minutes. This crowd's getting a little rowdy here. They are cheering at just about anything.
Yeah, but Sue, having played for Gene and having known him so well for so long and being close to the program, I can assure you that he is playing this for all that it's worth. Right. He has a tremendous sense for drama and for timing, and I will guarantee you that he'll roll in here, keeping people on the edge of their seats, and then, of course, the explosion will ensue.
Which makes me want to ask you, Bruce, you played for this very baseball team. This has got to feel good for you, too, being an alum of this baseball team.
Sue, it was difficult for me to put it into words yesterday at 6 and 10. I did the best that I could, and to try to even approach the emotions that I continue to feel in words would be very, very difficult right now. It's the realizing of a dream for this program, and it just never ceases to amaze me the new depths that you can go to. Yeah. When it comes to emotion. You keep thinking, well, I witnessed the birth of my son, and I to this day have never witnessed anything more emotional, but on a different emotional level. Yesterday took me to a new height.
Good.
And it was, so it's something I'm still trying to grasp with, something I'm still trying to define, and I think it's something that all of us are really trying to come to grips with. Let's go back to last night. Let's take a look at the way that I put my thoughts down onto tape as we recapped Wichita State's thrilling win over Texas at the College World Series.
Rain washed the tarp-covered field at Rosenblatt this morning, making it a shocker day to play baseball. Unable to take batting practice, Wichita State arrived late. There were no outward signs of nerves, just a quiet awareness of the task that lay ahead of them. I don't know what you thought, but as the game wore on, I gained more and more confidence that the Shockers were going to realize their destiny. Greg Brummett gave me that security, as with every passing pitch, he became a more indomitable force. Finally, that moment arrived. That moment when, as an athlete, you realize that you're on the verge of an emotion previously untapped.
I was back there with goosebumps catching, I just wanted to jump up and down after every pitch, but, I tried to keep my poise because I didn't want Greg to get too excited. And then when we got 2 strikes in the batter, I realized that it was right there in front of us. It was reality.
The moment will be forever etched in Wichita lore, as that which happened in a quick blink of time stays with those who lived it for an eternity.
We were in the same position last year. We were 1 strike away to get in this game. We knew if we could get in this game, we were going to win it. We absolutely knew it. And I tell you what, we did it. We did a great job. We're national champions. It's awesome. It's a dream we worked really hard for ever since I've been here. We finally realized that dream today.
I'm as proud as I can be of these guys and the performance that they give every time out and the efforts that they put forth. Well, I think everybody in the Wichita area and Kansas and Midwest ought to be just as proud as they could be of these guys and what they do for our program and our university.
Amen. Bruce Hurdle, Eyewitness Sports, Omaha.
Actually, I'm here in Wichita now, not in Omaha. Sue is wearing some of the latest national championship garb,
What
which
do you
I'm
think?
sure.
They were selling these T-shirts here today. They're out of them right now, but they just got a new batch in, I'm told, in about a half an hour. And if any of you want some of these shirts, this is the shirt of the week here. I'm told they will be selling shirts here again tomorrow at the stadium. Can you hear the crowd right now, Bruce? They're getting a little anxious for the Shocks to arrive.
Well, the anticipation that this crowd is feeling is somewhat paralleled by the anticipation that we all felt last night watching Greg Brummett tee up that last strike, and then, of course, the ensuing celebration. Remember, there were only about 500 folks that actually made the trip up from Wichita to Omaha.
So this is their first sight for most Wichitans of the team.
So we are going to see a tremendous outpouring here when the Shockers do arrive. In case they just joined us, they should be just moments away from X Stadium and Tyler Field, and we are in essence delaying until they make the scene.
Nobody knows exactly how long this pep rally will last. We're told it could run a half an hour, it could run an hour. It just depends on the crowd here and exactly how much people have to say. I would think that every player, or at least Gene Stevenson, would have to say a lot. People in the crowd are now starting to lead cheers all by themselves, and that's a good sign here.
One quick programming note. Let's talk about tonight on Channel 12. There may be some people tuning in right now expecting to see 60 Minutes. For those of you, we beg for your indulgence and your patience. 60 Minutes will be seen in its entirety tonight at 11 o'clock. There'll be regular CBS programming starting at 7 o'clock with Murder, She Wrote, and then on into the CBS Sunday evening movie. We'll have Eyewitness News Weekend with Kim Setti and the gang coming up at 10 o'clock. And then we will recap the last week's goings-on from Omaha from 10:30 till 11 o'clock on a special broadcast here on Eyewitness Sports.
Called Field of Dreams Shocker Style, which I think is a very appropriate name for that show. I got to tell you something. You know, you were in Omaha, and the excitement was obviously evident there on national television. But here in Wichita, I've never seen anything like it. The lounges were full around the television sets. People were cheering like it was a Super Bowl champion. But I guess for Wichita, it is a Super Bowl.
It's a nice thing to see something like that galvanize a community and to bring them together. And it's something as wonderfully simple and romantic as the game of baseball. Because,
exactly.
It is a game that is ingrained in our consciousness and throughout the American experience.
Let's talk to a man.
Let's talk to Ron Tyler, Wichita State baseball benefactor and a general entrepreneur here in the Wichita area and throughout the country in the Midwest indeed. Ron, let's talk about the very gratifying emotions that you've got to be feeling. You've been a part of this Wichita State program in many different ways, both in your days here as a student and of course now in your days as a benefactor.
Well, never very much as a student. I mean, this is substantially more exciting than anything when I was here previous as a student. But it's really almost a letdown when you win the World Series. We came very close last year, and I'm getting a little worried. We have a 5-year plan that the culmination of that 5-year plan was to win the World Series, and now we did it in 2, and I guess that just means this team and the coaches are 2.5 times better than what we figured. But but it is the most exciting thing that I've ever been a part of, and the crowd out here to greet these kids when they come back, and certainly the kids enjoy it and deserve it, and it's just fantastic.
Did you expect this win? Did you, knowing the team, the spirit of the team, did you expect it?
Yes, I did. It was got a little testy at the Florida State loss, but when we came back and we won the next one, I thought that there wasn't even any question we were going to do it.
Has the enormity of what's happened, do you think, sunk into this community yet? I think we tend to live in a little bit of an ivory tower and maybe don't realize the national exposure that Wichita got with the CBS broadcast yesterday, and of course, the positive exposure that it will continue to get now as we bask in the afterglow of this win.
This is Wichita's first national championship in any sport. I don't think that takes a lot of sink in. And I think we're going to see this program use this as the building block, and next year we're going to see the last year.
You can hear that crowd right now. Something is coming. The team must have arrived.
Got in the parking lot.
Just got in the parking lot, and this crowd is going wild. The team has arrived. If we can get shot, there's the crowd right there, just going wild. You see pom-poms and, of course, hands that say we're number one, those giant hands. A lot of people wearing those champion championship T-shirts. A lot of people holding up one finger. No bus. We're told right now the bus has not arrived yet.
Instruction in baseball skill, and I think from now on we're able to increase our attendance. We're able to have a few more big different groups to build a program of those size and ways. The benefits to the coaching staff themselves, both national and community recognition. I think that when we appeared in the first World Series in '82, our first World Series, 1982. We had a couple of kids who watched that game on TV and decided to Wichita State. And that was the Rayleigh, Sam and Dan. And I guarantee you, when we win the national championship like we did, we're going to get a lot of interest around the community. We're going to get some real blue chip ball players in here, in addition to the great kids we've got right now. I mean, you can't take away from them.
Okay, Ron. Ron Tyler, Wichita State benefactor. Thank you kindly.
Thanks, Ron. Someone's walked out onto the field, but they're not letting him talk. The fans are just cheering a little bit right now.
And let me give you an identification. That is Mike Kennedy, the very fine radio voice.
I don't even know which one of these microphones I'm supposed to talk into.
We will go now to the podium and begin to pick up the program with Mike Kennedy of KNSS News Radio 1240.
I don't usually say a lot of these things except to introduce people, but there are one or two things I think need to be said. I think that all of you need to understand and appreciate a couple of things about what happened yesterday in Omaha, because it was a lot more than just winning 5 games in Omaha and 5 games before that in Fresno and getting it done with a bunch of guys hurt and a couple of the best players that ever played in this program not even out there. To really appreciate what this was all about, you have to ask some of the parents about all the hours they spent playing catch with these kids and throwing balls to him and taking them to Little League and Legion games and supporting them and standing by them until they were to a point in their lives that they could contend for something like this. In one case, and then watching your son being carried off the field with a broken leg. I think you also have to ask the wives of the coaches and the girlfriends of the players how much they saw of those people during the season and during the last 2 and 3 and 4 seasons. And ask the kids about 10 and 12-hour bus rides to places like Terre Haute, Indiana, and Carbondale, Illinois. And ask them about, think about this, ask them about what it feels like when you pitch a pretty good ball game and you walk a guy and you hear people in your own home crowd going, "Get him out of there." And you leave for a hostile regional when you should have had to host one yourself. And you get send-offs from people calling talk shows second-guessing the coaching staff about what they should have done to pitch the Indiana State better. But I know a lot of you were here, those 5,000-plus crowds for Oklahoma State, too. And I know what that meant. I know what that meant to the people that were here when there were 200 and 300 of you sitting on flatbed trucks. And when you ask Steve Stevenson what this feels like, ask him about all those days, having national caliber teams when nobody seemed to know they were here.
Yeah. All right, that's good.
And it's also all about, and I know there's some of you up there in this crowd that played here back in those days, maybe never got to a College World Series, but I know that you feel this just as much as everybody that was out there on the field yesterday in Omaha. And I know that there are a lot of you that were in Omaha but came awfully close in 1982 and 1988. You know what that felt like. And then finally it comes down to going to Fresno and losing a ball game to Michigan 14-5. And having to turn around in less than an hour and play a team that was as good as most of those we saw in Omaha in front of a 5,000-plus home crowd with a freshman pitcher on the mound and getting the job done.
Segue from this to the fact that they're coming. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is it. The moment you've been waiting for, or at least we certainly hope you have. The 1989 national champion Wichita State Shockers arriving back from Omaha.
So if you understand and appreciate all of that, let's really hear it for your national champions.
Just to hear the roar of the crowd makes you proud. Bruce, they're not running onto the field, they're just kind of walking.
Sue, they've done enough running over the last few months.
I guess so. I guess they just want to take their time and bask in the glory. They're being handed their official championship t-shirts now, it looks like.
Yep, you can see Eric Wedge and some of the guys over there, Tyler Green, Darren Paxton, of course, those two names of the future, names that will undoubtedly lead Wichita State back into a national championship game.
Looks like they're waiting to put on their t-shirts to arrive in the middle of the field to get on the podium. They all want those championship t-shirts on. Crowd forming, of course, around the players, and a heck of a lot of cameras. Up, let's listen to the cheer of the crowd now.
That's the type of ringing in the ears that you'll never get tired of.
Never.
Line to the symbol of this ball club in the College World Series, and welcome him back also.
I imagine as soon as everyone assembles, they will officially introduce the team. Crowd's getting a little anxious here. They're pressed up against the
Brian Winslow making his entrance now into the ballpark. You're not able to see it on that shot right there, but further on down the left field line, Bryant Winslow entering the ballpark. He, of course, the courageous inspiration for this team, the man that played with a stress fracture through the regional in Fresno and through the College World Series. There you get a shot of the young man from Littleton, Colorado. Bryant Winslow out in the ball game yesterday. Mike McDonald came in to do such a tremendous job in his absence. But Winslow, really the inspirational heart and soul of this ball club, a guy that typified.
Let's bring him out.
Did that picture tell 1,000 words?
I can't say it too many times. Your national champions.
There they go. Finally walking out on the field now. The Wichita State Shockers.
Mike McDonald leading the way, just drafted by the San Francisco Giants, followed by Eric Wedge, second-round draft pick of the Boston Red Sox. Mike Jones, a Wichita product. Mike Lansing to his immediate right, injured, did not play, an All-American, drafted as well in this recent draft. And Pat Cedeno, Joey Wilson, Tyler Green, Mike Wentworth, who had such a tremendous home run in that ball game against Florida State. The home run that tied it at 4 and ended up sending the Shockers on a 10-run surge and into the national championship game. Immediately to his right, Greg Brummett, the All-American who won 3 games at the College World Series. The All-American that was the College World Series player of the tournament.
There's Gene in front. After a long drive home, they don't look tired at all. They almost seem a bit humble, Bruce, don't they?
Yeah, I think you're right, Sue.
I don't know. I guess I kind of picture them with their hands, you know, no, we're number one and that kind of thing.
This team has been very subdued, very under control, very much aware of what they've had to do all season long. They've been a team that have dealt with adversity on a continual basis. Remember that they were on the verge of elimination in the tournament 4 or 5 different times when you go through the regionals and into the College World Series. So this is a ball club that is very hardened by their experience, certainly not calloused by their success, but I still think probably not totally aware of exactly what they've accomplished yet.
The enormity of it all. Let's go back to the podium, I guess.
Wichita State Athletic Director Tom Shoup now approaching the podium.
Wow, this is unbelievable. Unbelievable. I thought I had an emotional tinge yesterday. Can you hear me? Can you hear me now? Huh? I thought I had an emotional tinge yesterday when we got that last out, and I thought I'd never have it again, but I tell you, right here this afternoon, it's awfully doggone close. This is unbelievable. Just briefly, if I could, I want to welcome everybody officially on behalf of the university and the city of Wichita. President Armstrong has some business in Minnesota. He had to go up there unexpectedly. He'll be back tomorrow. And I'll tell you, he's going to want a tape of this because this is something that he's waited for a long, long time. Yesterday's accomplishment, as you know, is no small feat. It was done by part-time players, full-time students. We have full-time students here, and it's a tribute to the Gene Stevenson and the coaching staff that have put together such a class program that was able to make this happen. And you know, it was no accident. It was something that they've worked for, that we're all committed to, the athletic department is committed to, the university and the city, and the coaching staff, and this is not going to be the last time we win this national title. There are 270 universities that play Division I baseball. Among them, I might think of Michigan, Arkansas, Florida State, Texas, just to name a few. To be number one out of 270 programs that are as committed as we are is truly a tribute to these guys behind us, and that's why we're all here, to hear them speak and to meet them personally and individually. And let's get on with it right now. Again, thank you from the athletic department. Thanks for coming.
The next person could not actually be here. Which one is? All right, here we go. But I do have something to read to you here. It says, "Dear Shocker team and fans, I was ecstatic to learn that you had won the national championship yesterday at the College World Series. Congratulations. As I said in a telegram to Coach Stevenson before the game, I can barely wait to inform President Bush that Wichita State University has won the title. After all, the president is a Texan and a former College World Series player." Best wishes for a fantastic celebration at X Stadium to mark the conclusion of an outstanding season. Sincerely, Bob Dole, United States Senate. And also to add his congratulations, the commissioner of the conference that this team represented in winning the national championship from the Missouri Valley Conference office, Doug Elgin.
Thank you, Mike. I've been in the job a little less than a year, and I've been to Omaha twice. It's been a real experience for me, and I think that can spoil very quickly. This is a very proud day for Wichita State and its baseball program, its fans, but it's also a very big day for the Missouri Valley Conference. This win yesterday in Omaha should bring the kind of respect to this conference in baseball circles that it deserves. Last year, the NCAA Tournament Committee selected only 2 teams from the Missouri Valley. This should erase that and should bring a lot more credibility to our programs. To the people that made it happen, Gene Stevenson and his Shockers, congratulations on behalf of the entire Missouri Valley. I hope that you'll take this day, this week, and this summer to savor what you've done and come back next year with the same kind of resolve that took you to Omaha this year for a 3rd time in a row. The Wichita State program is arguably the finest in the country over the last 10 years. But there can be no question at all that the Shockers are #1 in college baseball over the last 2. So again, from all the players and the coaches and the fans of the Missouri Valley, congratulations and best wishes.
I was just noticing, did we have the Fresno grounds crew work on the home plate area here for this deal? This time we are going to introduce individually, so you can meet them all, the players who brought you the national championship and the coaching staff. Guys, if you would please stand as you're introduced individually. We'll start with the freshman class and go in class order alphabetically. Pitcher Brian Bizard from Neodesha, Kansas. An all-tournament selection in his first College World Series, Todd Dreifert. Guy who got the Shockers a win in Fresno and where they needed to be in Omaha, Charlie Gendron. Another guy who got a big pressure-packed win in Fresno, Tyler Green. The 500 of you or so who were here at midnight one night against Brigham Young remember the sacrifice fly that won the ball game by Jay Halfley. And another outstanding freshman pitcher, freshman All-American Darren Paxton. The sophomore class, these guys think it's a regular deal to go to Omaha every year. Member of the all-tournament team at the World Series, Jim Audley. One of the guys who had to fill in at an unfamiliar position and filled in a big way down the stretch, Mike Jones. Guy who's gotten a lot of big wins in his 2 years at Wichita State, Morgan LeClaire. Another guy who was an all-tournament selection at the World Series and may be in the running for outstanding player if it hadn't been for 2 of his teammates, Pat Mears. Another guy who turned in a lot of big, important innings down the stretch, Jeff Williams. The guy was an all-tournament selection at the West 2 Regional, and when it was all said and done, kind of became the symbol of this team, Bryant Winslow. The junior class, a guy who pitched 6 2/3 scoreless innings at the West 2 Regional to get the Shockers through that. 2 more at the College World Series, Jeff Bluma. Guy who set a national record for at-bats in a season and maybe a national record for outstanding plays by a second baseman, P.J. Forbes. A guy who couldn't be there at the end, but a guy that they couldn't have gotten there without. Second-team All-American Mike Lansing. Quite simply, the finest late-inning stopper in college baseball, maybe ever, Jim Newland. And a guy who maybe this was his team all year. He's a first-team All-American, but the one award he didn't get in name that there was no question he truly was. The Player of the Year in college baseball, Eric Wedge. And the 4-year guys, the seniors, the guys who ran the gamut from getting hosed out of even a regional bid in 1986 to a national championship 4 years later. Another guy who couldn't be there at the end but had a lot to do with the Shockers being where they are for 4 years, Jeff Bonaquista. Started out Fifi and ended up Spike. The outstanding player in the College World Series, Greg Brummett. A guy who went from not being highly recruited to the 3rd best winning percentage in Wichita State history and got the win that got us to the title game, Pat Cedeno. This next guy told us on the field after the game yesterday he just completed the best week of his life. Second-team All-America. He got drafted. He won the national championship. Mike McDonald. A guy who came off the bench and made many, many key contributions at the end of the season, including another one yesterday with a base hit that set up the home run by Pat Mears, Joey Wilson. And just so you know that I know how to alphabetize, I went out of order to save this guy for last. A 5th-year senior who walked on in this program, hit the 2 most dramatic home runs in Shocker history, Mike Wentworth. A guy who might have been the team's most valuable performer in the regionals and the World Series out of necessity, the baseball trainer, Randy Fox. an assistant coach who has been here since the second year that Gene Stevenson established the program. No question about it, the funniest guy and the best pitching coach in all of college baseball, Brent Chemnitz. A guy who was there ever so close as a player in 1982 when he hit 500 and did all he could to get the Shockers there. Was there as an assistant coach last year and now has finally tasted the national championship, Loren Hibbs. One more. The guy who came into the program this year from Brent Chemnitz's alma mater, Phillips University in Oklahoma, thinks this is the deal. You come to here and you go to the World Series every year. Graduate assistant coach Greg Miller. The architect, the guy who put it all together, the guy who brought the national championship, Gene Stevenson. Wait a minute. He'll be up here, just a minute. Before we get him up here, we did want to give the seniors a chance to say what's on their mind about all of this, so let's call the Shocker seniors up here. Come on up, all of you guys.
These 4 years here have been 4 of the most memorable years of my life. Something I will never forget, winning this national championship. I'd like to thank you all for coming out and being with us at this special moment. Thank you.
Hey, you know we all couldn't have done it without all your help, and you know, it was a great team effort. Everybody had the greatest time of their lives up there. It was a great atmosphere to be around, and I'm glad you guys were there to support us and here also. And this is the happiest time of my life. Thank you very much.
I'd like to say thank you to all the great fans that are here to support us all through the year. And I just want to say that last night was the first time I threw up with a smile on my face. There's not many people in this nation that have the opportunity that we had to get here, and it was a total team effort, and I just want to say thank you to Gene Stevenson, the coach staff, and Bryant Winslow.
I just want to thank all the fans and all the coaching staff and the university for giving me this opportunity to be here today. It always seems like it always happens to somebody else. Well, by God, this time it happened to us.
Just like to thank everybody. Couldn't ask for a better reception. Couldn't ask for better fans. Couldn't ask for a better way to end my career. They say hook 'em horns, I say the hell with that, shock 'em shocks.
I've said all I have to say. You don't want to hear me anymore, except to say in front of this large crowd, thank you for the greatest thrill of my professional career. I'll never have an experience like the one yesterday again. Now to introduce the guy who put it all together for the final words, the head coach, Gene Stevenson.
Somebody asked me yesterday some things, and for the first time in my long coaching career, I was speechless. I'm not going to do much better today, I'm afraid. This was truly the most memorable occasion that I could ever have. I mean, you know, for so many years, we've worked so hard to try to develop a program that is number one, that the people around the world, around the country, and around Wichita would look at as number one, the number one program in the country. And I want to first thank my assistant coaches, because they have worked hard and long, and they have been an inspiration for everyone too. Brent Chemnitz and Lauren Hibbs. You know, it's a long way looking at things right now and remembering how they were just in 1982 when we came back from losing the national championship final, and we had less than a busload out there to watch us come back. But of course, they had no place to sit, if you recall. They was on flatbed trailers. And you look at what this program has come from and what it is today, and you've got a minor miracle, and you're all a part of it. And I'll say this now, the most important part of it are the players that sit behind me. And these guys, I love them and they know it, and I beat them to death, I work them hard, I know that. And there are times when I know they want to kill me, and I know there are times when I want to kill them. But I love them and they know it. And I'll tell you something, it's the greatest bunch of guys the coach could ever get the chance to work with. They've given me everything that you could ever ask of a team. When chips were down, when things looked the worst, they came back and made things work. We found ways to win. They deserve all the credit, believe me. They've made everything happen that they ever dreamed of, and now they've got a situation, a national championship,